Hello everyone, Tombo the Tornado here, and this might be a boring video to some. I'm just gonna forewarn you right now because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna stay in orbit and basically talk about my power level and my equipment. Before I do that, I want to give a brief history of how I sort of managed my class and how I sort of decided what I was going to take. So weapons were always like, I went through phases, and that didn't always depend on the season. And I've deleted things before that people would have kept or whatever, but for the most part, that's pretty much balanced. And how I select my equipment is based on my style of play and what I like to do, how I like to play. Certainly, as the seasons have progressed and more like subclasses have been introduced, the weapons here used to be all of the same subclass. Now they're changed to like different subclasses, and that's really because the shields around enemies have changed to reflect ever since we got like prismatic. It's a blend of all of these, so it's best for me to have mainly, like, I like an arc, I like the edge in there. Threaded Needle's always a good one. The Colony I like. Slammer is good because it has eager edge. I'm so glad that they buffed like the old weapons again and I can get 21% back. Uh, yeah, there's just so many good weapons to choose from, and that's always been set up. However, moving over here, you can see it's like 99% resilience, 61%. It's all a bit spread out. It's kind of all over the place. And watching people stream and watching people do this, I see this usually at 100 or near 100. This is as close. I mean, I could go a bit further, that would push me over. But I usually see 100, 100, and then like 32, 32, and then something like 9 or 6 or something at the bottom, depending on the class and depending on how things are. So when I started doing this, I just randomly selected a load of stuff to put in here and just went with, oh, well, I guess I'll go with this, I guess I'll go with that, I guess I'll go with the other. Now, certainly let's go over to Arc, I guess, because that's probably the best one to look at. These were chosen. So I chose these, and I've started to take a bit of time to look at what I want each of these to do, what I want myself to do, and all of this affects my style of play. Grenade might change now and again, but for the most part, I'm happy with the melee and the slides melee. The jumping has always been easy enough. I mean, I know I can blink, but I just don't like it. And Strands was a big win for that. Strands is the only subclass that I have where I have the Gambler's Dodge, where when I dodge, I get my Threaded Spike as back as long as I'm surrounded by enemies. So not only do I dodge, I have something to throw at them. Need to finish this. I thought I did. I had one of these back before. So the main part of these was to go with Unravel and Tear and that sort of thing. I thought I had another one of these. I thought it was this one. Suspend. Yeah, that's what it should be. For the Unstoppable Champions that are stunned. That's what it's meant to be, so let's update that. So yeah, I didn't even know... I've changed that armor, damn it. Oh well. We'll sort that out later. But yeah, I didn't know about the difference in the damage and all of that. And I've just been like stuck on, what shall I do? What shall I have? What shall I change? For a while. And I wasn't even looking at the total number down there. I was thinking, sometimes you ended up with like the total being like 89, total is 83, total is 75, and that's when it's maxed out. And it took me a while to realize that you get better armor for completing, you know, harder events and that sort of thing. A lot of the time I would just like use a upgrade module and just filter that into that and say, oh, that's a powerful level number. I'm looking at the level number at the top, so that's what they gave me because that's more powerful, so I'll put that back into my character. And yeah, a lot of the good stuff kind of went out the window from there. So yeah, now I'm sort of like looking into this and sort of looking at what can I upgrade, what can I do, and starting to see a bit more about how it actually works. I've survived quite well on the campaign, and I can push through. I have pushed through dungeons solo. You know, I've done Grasp of Arifai solo, which I thought was pretty good for me and my power level. And I'm more than happy that I've got kind of what I wanted out of everything in terms of story. I haven't done any raids. I've never done any raids. I really need to research on that and play that more, but for that I need knowledge, I need people to have understanding, and most of the time people won't do that. I haven't even attempted it because I just fear the community when it comes to, oh, you don't know what you're doing, immediately being slammed by everyone around me. So that's why it hasn't happened. I haven't got a clan together on Destiny, and my clan on Destiny, my clan for people, it consists of these guys who I don't even know any of these guys. I know none of them. And most of these guys have left. As you can see, the clan level is still at 1. No one really does this anymore. I never see any of these guys on. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 in my time, but never really anything else. I could leave the clan, but it's good for when I get weekly contributions, I can get more levels, and then I can see... I can go to the tower and have a talk to Hawthorne about getting a bit more higher class items. It takes a while to get there, but I do get there, and when I get there I'm like, yeah, I got it. I'm, you know, in a good position, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, basically now we're in this position where I'm trying to get a better total rather than a better better gear, you know, better gear level. And it's only now that I'm noticing that if I take these things like off, that drops it down. So now that's 80. Put something back on, anything, and you know, that's back up to 93. So it's not something that I've really sort of looked at in full too much, but it is something that I'm looking at now, and it's something where I'm thinking, you know, I need a higher stack as soon as that comes along. Like this helmet used to be my helmet for Ark. That's at 87. This is at 89, so we're going with that, and we're just going to keep trying to get that up and increase the level, because some of these, like 84, that's 93, then that's good. That's 86, 84. There's more to be had, and I'm recognizing that. I'm seeing that now. It's not something that's really explained very well throughout the whole of Destiny, is how to get this up, and most of this I had to learn myself. Like, I didn't even go to a guide. I had to like learn how to do this, like shaders. I had to learn how to change out your mask, and yeah, there is a tutorial for that, I suppose, but it's just really convoluted and quite useless. So then I learned about charging your armor and getting it up to a higher level to max it out, to max out your stats. It's just all of that took time to learn. time to get my head around. In the meantime, I was still doing stuff. You know, I was going around the system. I did Dreaming City, and this in the Shattered Throne is really where I started to really look at my setup and my loadout, because up until that point I was kicking ass in the story, and then I had a rocket launcher which I still have in my vault, and it's somewhere in here. Don't even look at my vault. There's so much stuff. I don't know what to get rid of, really. I'm like, I've got half of this stuff, and I really don't know how much I need, and I really need to have a good sort through this at some point in my time. But I just haven't got there yet. Now, I don't think I'll get there for a little while, but it's one of those things that you just need, like, time to go through. I'm looking for my rocket launcher. Where is it? Like, my helmet's here. Like, that's 8261. You see, like some of that's 61, and you know, we're not even. Some of this can be like rescued. Some of this can be got rid of. Like, that's at 90, and mobility is high, and that's really what I want for this phase shift. But I need to invest in this and look through it a lot more than I am. Like, that's 57, and why am I keeping that? You know, like that sort of thing. That's fine, but I've had higher stuff than that, and sometimes I'm just like a little lost, and I need to have a better grasp on what's going on. And every tutorial video I look at, here it is. Sleepless rocket launcher. So I got this a while back, and this guy does damage. It was blast radius was what I increased when I went for the masterwork. I got it to 100 already. At I think it was 3 of masterwork, and then it increased beyond that, and I thought, this is powerful, this is huge, this does damage. The auto lock's not great, but it does do what it says on the tin. It blasts hard. And yeah, I decided, you know what, let's start doing a dungeon. First dungeon to do, Dreaming City. Let's go into the Shattered Throne. Nowadays, really not that difficult. Just hate falling off. It's just annoying when you fall. But I'm alright with that now. I've done it inside and out many times. I've done it solo. I've done it without dying. You know, I've done it on just about every subclass. The only thing I haven't done it with is the fire team, made up of my clan, because my clan is not there. So, you know, it's fine, but there's that ogre you get to eventually, and he spawns in the center of the room. You got to take down his shield. I did all that. I took down his shield. I was like, all right, I've got everything I need now. Time to pull out Sleepless and do the most damage I possibly can to this guy. I took a shot, and it was like water dripping off a duck's back. It was so weak. And that was due to my power level being very low. It was due to me not knowing to weaken the target first with like a void grenade or something, or stunning it, or I didn't know any of that, and I had to learn the hard way by figuring it all out for myself. It took me years to figure it all out for myself, and yeah, I'm a veteran now, but I'd like to think that my character is above that. It's just because I can't afford to buy Final Shape, and I can't afford to buy every single season. So even though I'm at level 6, I would say I'm more level 7 right now. I could go higher than this, but I just can't buy it at the moment. It's too expensive. I haven't got that kind of cash and capital sitting around all the time. So yeah, that's something else. But yeah, power levels in this should be 100, this should be 100, and then probably strength being 100, or I don't know, like grenades are good for solar. So when I go solar class, I've got the healing grenade, which is so useful. Didn't even know it was there. Took time to look through solar, and there it was. Before that, I had swarm grenade. I know a lot of people go for trip mine, and I see that all the time, but I'm like, no, it's not for me. And I went solar grenade for a while, and that wasn't for me. And then I saw healing grenade, and I was like, how good is healing? Can't believe I was like doing it without for the longest time. It was just so ridiculous that I hadn't sort of figured that out. Yeah. So that's, you know, one thing that's changing and getting better. But genuinely, a lot of this stuff needs a huge amount of increase. The entire, like, I need to rework my character completely from the ground up, rework my character, because up until this, the Mask of Bakris, I was using the same boots, which was just basically sprinting gives energy, and before that I was using Aeon Swift, which yeah, you can get heavy ammo drop, which now you can get anyway, so I'm like, do I need that anymore? I can instead have sprinting speeds up, dodging speeds up sprinting gives energy, so use all the abilities, run to the next area. By the time I get to the next area, all the abilities have recharged. But that's not a problem if these are increased. So I need these guys to increase. And like certainly resilience, I've always tried to get to 100, and then everything else is just as it is. But now I'm starting to think about like recovery should be higher than that. It should be at least 100. You know, that can be lower. So it's just like we need the mobility to be high, because I need it to like engage, and like the dodge of this shifts me instead, and as I shift, that quadruples my stasis damage. When coupled with this gun, when activating my ultimate on this gun and a long press will activate my ult for here. So when I do that, it fires a massive beam with double the strength and double the ammunition on quadruple strength for stasis, which really just destroys anything. It really burns anything off quite quickly, which is ironic since it's frost. But yeah, the stasis of that does a huge amount of damage when it's coupled with that, whereas the impact, as you can see before, it's 6. But when coupled with this, it just increases exponentially. Yeah, so there we are. Long press, drains super energy, overflowing the magazine, empowering the beam, bonus damage, and the ability to slow and freeze targets until either the magazine runs out, super energy runs out, or the weapon is stowed. Great thing about this is, with the class that I have, as I dodge, I reload. So as this, if there's still plenty of super energy, and if I haven't activated the quadruple strength yet, and that's, say, getting quite low to ending the magazine, I do a phase shift dodge and refill the magazine. It keeps the stasis like ability high, and it just wrecks shop. It's so powerful. And I know how to use it correctly, and I know how to abuse it right. So that I'm really happy with. But this whole setup is sorted out for like mobility, to increase the recharge of my mobility, so I get that quadruple like strength back as quickly as possible. But then for that, other areas suffer. So basically, in summary, every single class I have right now is a glass cannon. It's really, really powerful. The weapons do a huge ton of damage. But because of all this, I'm not really I'm not really well defended. I don't have good recovery. It's really poor. I do have you know, good resilience, but really, do I need that in terms of like resistance? Do I need it? Not really. It's just as is, and you can see everything's geared up towards like recovery there, and it's still not enough. And just in terms of resilience, everything is high, but like 83 on that, 75 on that, 83 on that. I could swap that over, but like if we did that, that's 104. You know, it's a work in progress, but I'm now trying to replace my armor set. I'm trying to find better stuff, better gear, and replace half of this to get better stats out of it. I'm trying to really work it and get all of that up to scratch. It's gonna take a lot of time to completely rework half of this stuff because, like, even Tome of Wants, it took me a while to learn that, which is why I have a stockpile for days of this stuff. It's really, really poor. The other thing that I haven't really learnt is this, the Ascendant Alloy, which I get, you know, when you shape weapons and like advance them in rank, it goes into that, and it goes into like as you advance the ranks up, you can use, yeah, that to Ascendant Ally takes 1 to reshape that, and I should probably be doing that more than I am, but because I'm not really sure where this is going, I need to hold off on this side, really. I need to have a little think about what's going on before I get into that. Because of that, we've just stacked up so many. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's gonna get better. But the Triumph is still, you know, fairly high for what I've been doing. I think it could have been higher if I understood a bit more, but just basic things about like Dreaming City, we go into like Last Wish. I've got some of this stuff, even though I used the wish to get ahead. Shattered Throne, there we are. So everything except for Once More together. Because I just don't have the clan behind me, and that's really where it comes down to. A, I don't have the clan behind me because I don't have a clan, so I've been on my own pretty much the entire time. And then B, I'm just trying to still learn about this system, but I'm getting there. I'm now at the point where I realize what's going on with all of this and what I need to do, and I need to reapply my knowledge and change this to 100% values. And then at the same time, I need to think about, you know, what am I getting out of my class? What do I need out of my class? And finally, really, the last thing that I need is to reevaluate my exotics and not be on this so much anymore. I moved over to Tight Fit, which is quite nice for reloading, handling, airborne effectiveness, and you and your allies. Dodge increases the gains, which is really good. Really enjoying that one. Lucky Pants I've had for a little while, which was good, but it's ever since we've had like Maleficent's nerfed a little bit, it's just not as good as it used to be. Certainly some of these hand cannons, I went through a whole thing of hand cannons for the longest time, and then they nerfed it and I was not happy. But yeah, the exotics are changing around. I've got, you know, this one for Void, which is pretty good. And I'm starting using it a lot more and changing around and basically experimenting. So if you see me like fumbling around in the dark on some of these and thinking, oh, what is he doing? I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting with different classes, different items, and just basically trying to get more power out of my Guardian. So that's it, really. That's a brief history of where I was to where I am now. If you have anything to say, please put it in the comments. Please be respectful, and please remember that I'm being very open and honest about me not really knowing and having to learn as I go. As I've said before, there are tutorials, but it's very much geared towards players who understand what's going on, and I'm not really there. So yeah, please be respectful, but if you do have something to say, and if you know of things that are better and things that are good, let me know in the comments below. I'm aware, as you know, of like dungeons and like special areas, and when they when the areas like highlight and you can go there and get better armor and all that. I'm aware of all that. I'm aware where I need to go to get this stuff, but I'm not really I don't have all the expansions, so I can't really do Final Shape because I don't have it. I don't have some of this, so I can't do it all. But I'm aware of where I need to go to get what I need. But yeah, have I missed something? Did I not mention something? Is there a better way of doing this? I really don't like Crucible, and I really don't really want to do Crucible because I'm really terrible, and with this as it is in current format, I'm not interested in doing Crucible until I've sort of sorted this out. And on top of that, yeah, I know all of these are meant to be for different classes, but this is just the system that I've gone with. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to see something different, if you know a better way. I'm going to end it there. I could go on with this, but I'm working on it, is basically what I wanted to say. I'm working on it. We'll get there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, and in the next one you will be seeing me kick ass of some sort. So I'll see you there. Bye.